Thank you, Ron. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? I'm hoping this will be a little more interactive than just me talking. So I have a story about how we, the 5 of us here, applied for a large grant through the Education Advancement Foundation. And so I kind of want to tell you the story, but I also want to find out if you are also interested in applying for an Education Advancement large grant. Is there anybody? Oh, so you just want to hear my story? Oh, you're interested? Okay. Okay. There are 2 different types of grants. The small grants that AIBL gives out are usually around $2,500 for you to get a course release so that you can create notes. But if you want more than that so that you can do more, then you would actually go through the Education Advancement Foundation to get a large grant. And that's what we did. So working through this story, Patrick Ralt and I actually attended the IBL workshop in Austin, Texas in 2009. We both got really interested in teaching IBL. I actually do a lot of IBL-like activities in my math education classes, but I was assigned to teach a geometry course, and I did not want to lecture. I wanted to actually teach a geometry course more IBL. So that was my reason to go to the IBL workshop. And so I did create or use a lot of materials that made it more IBL. At least it fit my personality better. After that, he's in Rochester, I'm in Buffalo. He knew other people that were doing IBL in the area. So we would meet most likely in the Rochester area for dinner, have a couple other people come. We actually got a couple of people from far away, like Toronto and Plattsburgh, to come and meet with us for dinner. And Patrick was able to get some money for them to travel. So that was really nice. He actually applied for and received a small grant to create another course in IBL. And then he decided that we really wanted to create an idea for applying for a large grant. He had lots of things in mind. We discussed a lot of different ideas for what we could do with a large grant. But it took quite a few meetings and lots of emails to try to narrow down our focus. Because Patrick has all these great ideas, we really wanted more of a narrow focus of what we could do. So our main interest was to try to expand the use of IBL in the Seaway section. Does everybody know what I mean when I say the Seaway section? Okay, the MAA has chopped up the Canada and the United States into different sections. Our Seaway section includes New York State and Ontario, and that's a very large geographical area, but there aren't very many colleges in Ontario. But we do have quite a few people interested in the Pennsylvania area as well. Here is where we went to apply for an educational advancement large grant. So they have the guidelines and the eligibility. They also have who's been awarded grants in the past. So I would highly recommend that you go to the website, look at who else has received grants. So besides our group, there are quite a few others. So you could try to get some other ideas for what you want to do. And then, of course, here's all of the people that are involved. We want us, and of course our name, that our grant is called. We want to support those that are interested in IBL. We are offering mentoring. So there are 7 of us, besides the 5 that applied for the grant. We do have 2 others David Clark being one of them, that are willing to help us with the mentoring. And because we cover such a large geographical area, we do want to try to minimize the number of nights running around from one place to another. So we do want to mentor people that are starting out using IBL for the first time. We still want to continue our conversations both at dinner and at the Seaway section meetings. So we have meetings in April and October, pretty much every year, and they're spread across New York State, although recently they've been in the Buffalo area, which has been nice. I haven't had to do much traveling, but I have a feeling they're going to spread a little farther away. And then we also wanted to support people with travel. So we want the mentors to be able to go and observe the mentees while they're teaching, and we also want it to go back. We want the mentees to be able to come and see how a mentor does an IBL course. So that's where the travel money is mainly for. We also have, I believe, 5 of our 11 mentees going to the Kenyan IBL workshop, which starts tomorrow. I'm obviously not going, but we've supported 5 of them to go to the workshop so that they can get started on creating their curricula for their upcoming IBL course. So I highly recommend, if you are thinking about doing an IBL course, to attend at least one to give you an idea of how to get started. We are also going to have a session at the Fall Seaway section meeting, which is in October at Alfred State College, which I think is down here somewhere. So it's still close to Buffalo, but it'll be an area that I haven't been to yet. So I'm new to New York. Well, I guess I can't say that new anymore, but I haven't seen all of New York State yet. So we do have 9 mentees for the fall. Well, actually for the academic year. One of them is only going to do the spring. I had a feeling I couldn't give the names, although we do have one that's here. Although we've been mentoring Fong for, a year now? So our experiences helping Fong and a couple of others have led us to try to expand our mentoring and to get more support. Both Patrick and I have visited Fong's classroom, and we're close. I didn't mind going to Niagara from Buffalo. It was an easy drive. But if somebody had to go from Plattsburgh to Niagara, that would have been a different situation. So we've been doing the mentee-mentor idea for a couple of years, and now we're trying to expand it, and we have been very successful in our first year to get the expansion going. So hopefully it'll go exponential. That would be great for our next couple of years. So we'll see. We do have 7 mentors, like I said. We've been trying to throw around some ideas of how to pair up mentors and mentees, and I think we're going to get rid of the word pair. I think we're going to do what Patrick and I did, is we both helped Fong. So Patrick had one set of really good topics that he could take with him to talk with Fong, and then I needed to take some of my expertise to help. So we probably won't do just a pair, one mentee to one mentor. It might be more of a group effort, but hopefully it'll be a well-defined group, not an amorphous group, but we'll see. Of course, we do want to try to take advantage of geographical pairings or groups, as well as by course content. I know my background is not very strong with, say, topology, so I probably wouldn't want to mentor somebody that needed topology content help, but I could definitely help with a lot of other classroom management issues. And we can also assign some by dispositions. So I probably wouldn't want to be paired with somebody who has a very different personality than myself. Or maybe I could, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the group assignments work. But that was our first idea, was to try to pair the mentees and the mentors up. But I think we're leaning away from that pairing part. All right, so our consortium has been funded by the Educational Advancement Foundation. We are supporting people to go to the Kenyon workshop. And next year, when we do this again, we're also going to send people to the IBL workshops, probably fairly close to New York, because there is also a IBL workshop in, right, and also in Portland, I believe, right? So those are a little bit too far for some East Coast people to go to. We'll see if they want to go to any of those. We do ask if you want to keep in touch with us. We do have a group email, so all of us have access to answer the email address. And then we have a website set up just for our mentors and mentees as well. So if you want to see all the different activities that we have going, I would recommend that you go to the website. So that's pretty much all that I have. I don't think I took up 30 minutes. Thank you.
I'm just curious, like the process, because you guys kicked the ideas around and then you found an idea that everybody thought it would work. And sounds like a very heavy component is that mentor, mentee, you know, grouping. Do you have ideas who might be mentees before you get a grant, or is it like you have a grant and then you try to find out who might want to be mentored? How does that work?
We did have a few ideas. One of our colleagues, Yusuf, is at Nazareth, so he has started teaching IBL with geometry. And so he has, with calculus, actually Calc 1. And he's not going to do Calc 1 in the fall, but one of his colleagues is. So he wanted to have her learn how to do Calc 1 with the IBL style. So that was an obvious mentee to start. But we put out notices in our April Seaway section meeting, and a little bit before, because we wanted people to go to the June IBL workshop, right? So we wanted to get people that are willing to go, so we needed to try to catch them ahead of time. So we had some feelers out, I think, because we knew either colleagues or other people that we've had interactions with at our Seaway section meetings that they were interested. So yeah, we've tried to do some advertising to get mentees to sign up. Do you know how we contacted you? Do you remember? Okay.
Fong Li, I'm, I guess, one of the mentees. Years ago, I saw Patrick teach a course, and that kind of planted the seed of IBL in my mind. And when I started asking him more about it about a year ago, a little more than a year ago now, he said, go to the workshop, but the thing he always said is, you can come watch my class at any time, and if it's okay, I'd like to come see your class. And you always feel a little nervous having someone observe your class, but I realized, this is kind of, a lot of what IBL is not just presenting, but watching other people present, and this back and forth, this reciprocation. And I think that's the thing that, I think I talked with Patrick a lot about, like, why would I want someone to come in and watch my class? What am I looking for specifically? And that's really, I think, I think that's part of why Patrick ended up doing this is through, we had a lot of, or as she said, there were a lot of different conversations about what people wanted from a regional IBL group. And the mentor-mentee thing, I mean, one, it was very beneficial, as she said. Patrick observed my class first, and he immediately gave me some comments, but he also identified several areas where he said, I cannot comment on these aspects of what you do, but Jane can. And I used a lot of cooperative learning, which Patrick doesn't do quite as much. So he said, well, Jane does, and she's just down the street from your school. Well, and so there's, again, this geographic thing worked out really well. And so she came in focusing primarily on those aspects and was really helpful in improving my practice that way. So I think the cluster mentor-mentee thing kind of happened for reasons like that.
Right.
But even if you don't, plug into a regional IBL group, I think I can't say enough how beneficial having people who've done this before observe your classes and observing other people's classes. That was a big reason why I felt comfortable doing IBLs, just watching Patrick teach and kind of seeing this process in real time with real students and asking them about it immediately after. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? What was up with that one weird kid in the back? All these things that come up, that you want to know as an instructor watching your classroom, and he could talk about those things. So yeah, I think that, in a roundabout way, hopefully answered that question.
Hi, Jen. This is Joyadi from Winona State University. I really appreciated that you are kind of explaining how you have done it so other people can do it too.
Right.
And that's where my interest got sparked. I'm in the North Central section of MA, and I have not seen any kind of workshop there. So I was...
Oh.
Yeah, so I attend this MA section meeting almost every year. So I was wondering if I can do similar ideas or similar thing in our section and get people involved in more IBL. Do you know how much grant money they offer, or what it entails, and how it gets reviewed, and how can I make a strong point that we would like to have this kind of thing at North Central Section MA.
I'm sure Patrick would be more than happy to share our actual application with you and our budget. Because there are 5 of us, we each were asked for a course release once a year for the 3 years. Margaret and I are more focused on not necessarily creating a math course, but focused on creating a workshop for teachers in our 3rd year to try to get high school teachers to think more IBL approach to learning. So that's what our course releases are for. But Ryan, Yusuf, and Patrick are going to use their course releases to create more IBL courses and IBL notes to share with the community. So that was part of the budget. The travel was also part of the budget. So those people that, I think Margaret has 2 mentors and Patrick is going to have 2 mentors. Again, that was for the budget, not what's going to happen really in real time. But so the budget was really what focused our mind on the bottom number. I don't know if there's a specific number that Education Advancement has in mind for a large grant, but it is definitely larger than $2,500. So it really kind of depends on what you're going to want to do and how many people are involved, right? So if it's just you and you're going to be the mentor to 5 mentees, then you would want to have travel, right, for each mentee that you would visit, and then travel for them to come and reciprocate, right, come back and visit you. But that would be a lot for you to take on, right? So if it's just you might want to pare that down a little bit. But your 2nd and 3rd year, you would hopefully have more mentors, because your 1st year mentees can become mentors, right? And so you can hopefully make it very exponential that way. Does that help? Okay. Yes, we definitely can share. Any other questions?
Thank you.